We are 1 week away from the Georgia Senate runoff elections. Over 2 million people have already cast their ballots down in Georgia, and some counties will continue in-person early voting until New Year's Eve. Meanwhile, a federal judge ordered 2 counties to reverse a decision that would have removed thousands of voters from the rolls ahead of the runoff races. The judge, who's the sister of Democrat Stacey Abrams, argued the counties improperly relied on unverified change of address data to invalidate registrations. Joining us right now, co-founder of the Tea Party Patriots, Beth Martin. Also here with us, Democrat Georgia State Representative Vernon Jones. Vernon's also the founder of Waking Up America. Democrat Stacey Abrams' sister is the federal judge keeping thousands of Biden voters on the rolls. Beth, this sounds like quite a biased decision.
It does sound like a biased decision, and it's very difficult to look at that decision and think that it is a fair decision. If I had been that judge, I would have wanted to recuse myself so that the ultimate decision would have been seen as fair. Instead, it just looks like more political maneuvering from our courts. The Trump legal team has filed suit in Fulton County Superior Court, and to this day, it's been 3 weeks now, there still is not a judge who is assigned to the case. They're dragging their feet, and I think it's happening on purpose. I think that they are just trying to stall as long as they can, and the president needs to be able to have his evidence have its day in court.
That's for sure. Vernon, you're on the ground there. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, this is another backroom deal with Stacey Abrams to get her sister appointed to that judgeship anyhow with the Obama and Joe Biden administration. The exact same playbook she used with the Secretary of State with another backroom deal that dealt with mail-in ballots. That is the cancer to this whole election process and the whole justice process. Stacey Abrams. Everywhere you look, Stacey Abrams is having her hands to do with something through some backroom deal. Now, with that being said, voters are already concerned about Dominion, the system, the software. They're concerned about the election fraud. When I talk about that, ballots being counted without poll workers being available to watch, which is by law. The Secretary of State, again, with Stacey Abrams with the backroom deal, changed election policies when the state legislature, by our Constitution, says that only we have the authority to make any rule changes or laws that affects elections. And so you're just seeing a preponderance of this. But Georgians have to hold the line. If we want to make sure that we have a balance of power in Washington, we have to send Loeffler and Perdue back to Washington. If we do not, you're going to see more defunding the police. You're going to see them not support and be in favor of school choice, which is good for African-American kids that are trapped in many of these failing schools. But also, you're going to see socialism begin to creep in more and more and more between Bernie Sanders and Stacey Abrams and Black Lives Matter and Antifa. You can see, again, socialism starting to come into America. So we have to hold the line. And President Trump coming here on Monday can make a huge difference to make sure that Republican voters, that they come out and they vote on election day. I know they're saying that the early ballots tend to favor the Democrats, but this president can make a difference. And by the way, Georgia is not a blue state. Georgia is a red state. Those voters just have to come out and vote and hold the line.
So there are new reports of alleged abuse at a camp overseen by Raphael Warnock. One of the victims has described counselors allegedly throwing urine on him and locking him outside overnight. Kelly Loeffler says this is disqualifying. What do you make of this, Vernon? Do you agree?
Well, this pastor is not only the great pretender, but if you look at him and what he's doing and how he's doing it and who he's involved with, again, Stacey Abrams. Now, why aren't women coming out and saying they believe Warnock's ex-wife? Where are they? She said he was pretending to be what he's not. That's why we call him the great pretender. There's a lot here, and the liberal media is literally letting it go because they're supporting his campaign. And it's the hypocrisy coming from this pastor, especially when you want to talk about abortions. He support the Democrats who believe when a woman is 8 months pregnant that she can terminate her abortion. Something is wrong with that. What he's practicing is not what he's preaching.
That's for sure. Jenny, Beth, your thoughts on this?
Well, as a mom who has sent her kids away to overnight camp, I find that story it's the worst nightmare for moms. So it makes, I hope that other moms, especially suburban moms, take a step back and go, if he's willing to allow this to happen in his own camp, what else would he be willing to do? The fact is, if he is elected and if Ossoff is elected and the Democrats control everything in Washington, there will be no guardrails whatsoever on the Biden presidency. We're going to wind up with additional senators who it'll be lifelong Democrat senators with new states from Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico. There'll be not just amnesty granted to illegal immigrants, but probably citizenship. The Second Amendment, we won't be talking about gun control. We'll be talking about gun confiscation. That'll be single payer health care. Forget if you want to if you like your doctor, you can keep it. Hopefully you at least have health insurance and can get procedures when you need them so that they will be successful for you. The Trump tax cuts will go away and the Green New Deal will become law. That is not right for America. It's not right for Georgia. And we need to make sure that Georgians get out and vote so that we have that precious check and balance in the United States Senate.
No doubt. Georgians need to remember Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer said we got to win Georgia and then we will change America. So that's the plan. Republicans, though, are also calling on Ossoff and Warnock to denounce a hip-hop artist who headlined one of their campaign events. It comes after this vulgar tweet from a 27-year-old rapper, BRS Cash, surfaced. Jenny, Beth, do Warnock and Ossoff have some denouncing to do here?
You would think they do, but it seems like the people on the left can get away with whatever they want and say whatever they want, and they expect people on the right to live by a different standard than they do. The fact of the matter, at the end of the day, I don't think that tweet is going to sway a lot of votes. It's offensive. I don't think it's going to sway a lot of votes. We just have to make sure that people understand what's at stake, that Georgians understand. We're not just selecting 2 senators to represent Georgia. We are determining which way the country is going to go. Are we going to be a socialist country with one party control in Washington, D.C., or are we going to have some checks in there that love and respect and cherish the Constitution and limited government?
Hey, Vernon, what's your take on this whole rapper mess?
Well, first of all, there's a lot more we need to be focusing on. Obviously, the liberal media is going to give them a pass. They've been getting it from day one. Joe Biden can say things like, if you don't vote for him, you're not black. If black folks are not as diverse in their thinking as Latinos. He can go on and say stuff, and they never label him as a bigot. He gets away with it. He gets away with campaigning in the basement. He gets away with so much. And so same thing with these liberal Democrats who are running for Senate. They're just getting away. What we need to focus on is making sure those who want to hold the line, because so goes Georgia, so goes this country. And those who believe in funding the police, those who believe in keeping socialism out of our country, those who believe in pro-choice, those who are pro-Second Amendment, you better come out. Because if you don't come out, your first and your second and many of your other amendments are at stake when you leave it up to this far left crowd. They have gone too far. I've said it many times. I'm a lifelong Democrat. I didn't leave the party left me. And the party is leaving many African Americans too. And so look, hold the line in Georgia.
Got it. Thank you very much, Vernon and Jenny Beth. Thank you, guys.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.